Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. Doing my first video for the Spring Around 2022, hashtag Spring Around 22, the Spring Around ephemera challenge. Hopefully you guys are joining me after watching Shaina's video yesterday. Today is day 7, and the prompt for day 7 is bunny. So you might be like, what? But bear with me. I have half an idea. I am ready to get into this. Like I said, in my intro video, I was super excited to do this. So here's where we are. I am digging solely in my stash. There's nothing new coming to this challenge. And I have these Alice in Wonderland bags. I have like 20 of them. They were a gift from a very sweet friend. I have yet to use them all. I have yet to even use them for what she gave them to me for, which is my own Alice in Wonderland book. So that's, on the list of things to do eventually. This is not going to be Alice in Wonderland themed. However, I was just like, you have so many of these. Let's pull one of them and make it into something. So, it is a paper bag. It's a really cute paper bag. It's from like Daiso a couple years back. It's super cute. I'm not going to save anything. It's gonna be a paper bag pocket. That's what we're gonna make. Because the prompt of the day was bunny, I pulled this little envelope because I don't actually have a lot of spring stuff, you guys. So this challenge is gonna be extra challenging. I don't have a lot of like Easter, springtime, sunshiny things. But I have this little envelope baggy pocket thing that Shaina gifted me in some Happy Meal. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go down. And while working on my journal, I pulled some of these to see what was in here, and there are bunnies inside. Ta-da! Look at that. There's so many. It's like they multiplied in there. Yeah, so there are a ton of these little cute bunnies, and they're like jumping and sitting and chilling. So I was like, okay, I have bunnies. Bunny prompt is achievable. We can do this. I fussy cut this little guy, mostly to save you guys the time of watching me fussy cut this out, because it required 2 parts, an X-Acto knife, and scissors. But I fussy cut this little fairy from the Brian Froud fairy book. He's just making some music, so I thought it'd be really cute to have this little fairy guy on here, making some music for these bunnies. And sorry, my cats are up to shenanigans. But what I want to do is pull out a couple of these bunny rabbits, since I just made a huge mess for no reason, because I think like these bunnies are here for the fairy concert. Yeah, that's my cats making noise. I thought for like a second somebody was breaking into my house, which I don't know like why I am that way, but that is the way that I am. These are so hard to pick up. Ooh, his little ear is a little mangled, but I think it'll be okay. Oh, what is that? Guys, look how crazy these little tiny eyes are, I guess. We're gonna pretend like they don't exist. And we're gonna go this way. It doesn't even matter. I'm gonna cover that up. That was just a little bit creepier than I was expecting. I want to make sure I get one of each of them because I don't know when I'm going to use bunnies again. But they're real cute. Yeah, I think that's all of them. There's some deer in here too, but the deer I know I'll use. The bunnies, I got to be a little more creative. Maybe I'll make a spring book at some point in my life. Who knows when. So my idea for this is just to make it into like a simple paper bag pocket. Maybe do like a little bit of gesso on the back here, stamp it up, ink it up, and then add in these little bunnies like they're watching the show. Why can't I pick these up? Okay, so we're switching to voiceover mode because it took me an age and a half to pick up those bunnies. And then, it's been a minute since I've done like a craft with me, and I had a lot to say, apparently, because this video was initially 45 minutes long. And part of this challenge, like, of the 2 rules, which was like follow the prompts and make video, it was make a short video. 45 minutes isn't short. So yeah, sorry. This is now a voiceover video. And so basically all I'm doing here is just inking up the edges. I briefly explained to you guys how I was going to glue it all down to make it into a pocket. I think it's pretty straightforward. I am going to add like the little bit of torn off piece there to like tie in the top being torn and the bottom being torn. This way it looks a little bit more cohesive. As well as just gluing the sides down so that I have that little tuck space there. If I wanted to, or if you want to, you could open up the bottom by just cutting through the fold and have a larger pocket, but for what I needed, or like the reasons I was making this pocket, I didn't need that actually. Plus the back part will still be intact, and that can hold larger bits of ephemera and stuff like that, so I'm not really worried about it. Little tiny tucks work perfectly fine, I think, for what we need here. And I'm just gluing that down and making sure that everything is all nice and lined up and inked up and ready to go. So then the very next thing I did was grab some gesso, and I'm just gonna finger paint it on here just to give myself like a little background to work with. Just so that there's, I don't know, like a little bit of dimension, character, let's go with character to the background. And then after that dries, I'm gonna go and paint all the little bunnies with just a really thin layer of gesso, only because I'm gonna use embossing enamel from Tim Holtz, or embossing glaze, I'm sorry, not enamel. And I didn't want the background of that to be brown because it would wash out the color. So to get a more vibrant color, I added a little bit of that white. And then I'm just going back up to clean up the edges with some distress ink so that, you know, I could cover up the parts that I got gesso over that I didn't want to. So I just picked out some colors of brown and blue. I think there's like salvage patina, broken china, frayed burlap, and vintage photo, most likely. Or tea dye, one of the two. Either one will work. I think it's tea dye. And then I'm going to stamp the background just to give it a little bit of texture, so it's not like a flat surface. And then I'm going to ink over the top of that. And I'm going to ink on some book page as well. So I'm going to use that to cover the bottom part of our little tuck spot. So I'm just going to apply inks directly to my mat, spray them up, dip it in there. Get some nice like colors and textures. You know what it is? It's old paper. It wasn't tea dye or vintage photo. I don't remember what I did. But I got some really cool textures out of that, and I'm really happy with how that came out. And then I'm going to go back and add in the blues after the brown colors are dried. I didn't want to mix them together. You totally could, but I didn't want to for this. I wanted them to be a little bit more separate and not bleed into each other so much. And then I'm just gonna like tear down some book page and collage it onto the background, collage it on top of that like flap part so that I can, I don't know, make our pocket look nice. And this is a really like fun, easy way to use up paper bags, especially if you have a lot. I have a ton in my stash because apparently when I first started like getting into junk journals, I decided that I needed paper bags like nobody's business, so I have them in all shapes and sizes and kinds. So this is a great way to use them up. It's a really great like embellishment for your journals because it holds so much stuff. So yeah, I think this is a great idea. It's not like a special new idea or anything like that. I've seen this done a bajillion times, but I really like what I did here. I think it's gonna be really cute with the fairy and the bunnies, and it is like a little fun way to add a little bit of like mixed media collage goodness to your projects. So this challenge has been super fun. I am really looking forward to what's coming up. I have really enjoyed what's come so far. Everybody's been doing really cool things, like blowing my mind out of the water with stuff that I wouldn't have even like kind of thought of for their prompts. And I think this is a really fun way to do a challenge. So I'm glad that we did it again this year, that we brought the spring challenge back. I'm gonna stick my little fairy musician down. And then I'm going to go and get an Inktense pencil and just sort of sketch in a little bit of a shadow there, like, and a little bit of ground, so it doesn't look like he's just floating in space above the pocket. This is like a water activated ink. You can use watercolor, you can use marker, you can use colored pencil, anything you have on hand. You do not need an ink pen. A watercolor pencil would be great. But these pencils I would recommend getting if you're into like art journaling and stuff like that. They're definitely the best pencils for it. So there, it looks like he's got our little like ground to stand on, a little stage to perform for, and then we're gonna emboss our little bunny so that they can go to this concert. And there's nothing fancy here. There's my grungy, musty Versamark pad because I use it for everything, and mixed media does not keep things nice. And I'm just trying to pick out the colors I want to use. I don't have a lot of the embossing glazes, like I don't have all of them, but I have a lot, and so I was trying to find the ones that were like spring colored. I don't actually have that many colorful ones, so that's on my list of things to get going forward. I think I found some good ones. I think that's like peeled paint, and there's tattered rose. I think broken china and salvaged patina make a comeback. And I think fossilized amber is the other one I use. But yeah, this is just me essentially showing you how I embossed these. I did it real quick. I also, I burnt the embossing powder intentionally, like got really close with the heat tool so that the embossing powder would start to move, because the embossing glazes have like two parts. It's got like a clear glaze, like embossing enamel, and then it also has the pigment. And when you get super close like that, it'll start to move and separate. And you get these like really cool lines of texture. It gets a little bit more grainy, and then I got free highlighting for my die cuts, and I didn't have to do anything for it, which was cool. So that's a trick you can use. It does not work as well with other embossing powders. They just get kind of gross, but because the embossing enamel or the embossing glaze is like two parts, it works really great. So I'm just gonna add like a little zhuzh, a little something special, a little decorative piece here with some of this like natural ribbon. I don't know, I have like a whole pack of it. I think I got it from maybe Michael's like forever and a day ago. I don't remember where I got it from. That's just me guessing. And I'm gonna start sticking our bunnies down so they can be like watching this concert. Here's where I realized that because I wasn't paying attention when I was embossing everything. 4 out of 5 of my bunnies are facing the same direction. So, you know, be mindful if you're doing the same thing or you're using similar die cuts, whatever side you're embossing on, because then you have to get real creative with how you place everything, because everybody's facing the same dang direction. It did not ruin my day. I managed to make it work. So you got like dad and mom hanging out with the little babies hanging around, and then this guy who's clearly just like running amok during the show. And I'm just using my tape runner to stick it down because it's the easiest way to stick die cuts down for me. And then I decided I wasn't happy with how there was that blank space there, so I wanted to add like a bow. So you get to watch me struggle to tie a bow out of this really like difficult twine. See the struggle? Eventually I get it. It comes out looking pretty nice, pretty decent bow. But then I also got the idea that I wanted to have like some plant life in here because it's supposed to be kind of a spring themed dude. And I got a like flower sticker that I was like, oh, would this be great if I had this like tucked behind here and it looked like the flower, like the bow was holding it down. But I had already glued everything down. So now I have to perform like craft surgery to somehow magically get this sticker underneath here. You can see I'm trying to like be real clever with how I get it under there while having the back halfway peeled. The lesson here, guys, is plan ahead. Don't start with half an idea. Have a full idea. Or at least work out your steps before you commit to gluing stuff down. And you don't have to do this. Although I am very proud. This surgery was very successful. We were able to put all the pieces together and restore the patient to his previous future glory. And then, I'm sorry, I'm out of frame here. And there we have it. There's our little fairy concert for the bunnies for day 7 of the Spring Around 22 challenge. As you can see, the tuck spot does work. I did not accidentally glue it shut at any point. Why would you ask that? Also, the back pocket is also available for use as well. I think it's going to look great in any journal. If you guys try this out, let me know. Definitely comment down below. Tag me in it. If you are joining the challenge, let me know as well. I'd love to make sure I catch all your stuff. And to make sure I don't miss anything, make sure that you are using the hashtag SpringAround22. And that's it. You guys have made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much. I appreciate your faces. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.